Good evening, everybody, and welcome to That's Good Pasta, our weekly podcast about creepypastas. And with me is my co-host.
Jared.
Yay, we got it! We got it! First try. Yeah, we got this. 6 episodes in. Uh, Tonight, everybody,
I'm
we
sorry,
are.
I'm doing pre-production and I can't look at your cues.
Tonight we have the sequel to our very first episode, and our very first episode was Horror from the Vault. And tonight we are doing the Horror from the Vault Ash Cloud, or Horror from the Vault 2. So I
You're,
like Ash Cloud more.
you're an ash cloud.
I'm sorry. Um, okay, so quick synopsis here. This is basically told through an entire, or basically through an answering machine phone system type uh, communication. And the main character was apparently in a car accident, I believe is what he was, right?
It's what it's
And
alluded to.
yeah, and he is now wheelchair ridden, and unfortunately, he's pretty much on painkillers, and he's not, not doing too great. He's a college professor, I think, like literature or something, at a college, and this is all taking place in, I believe, Greenvale. I believe where it's at. Um, this is the town that was right next to the town in the first series, which was Aiden, and his ex-girlfriend, who's the one that was apparently driving while she was like severely high. I think it was like heroin, right? Like, so
Yeah.
like holes. Um, she,
Cavernous pits.
yeah, it's just, ugh. uh, she crashed the car and she is now in rehab. And this rehab center is also the home of some not mentally well people. And one of those not mentally well people is Lori Summers, who you shut your phone off. Shut your damn phone off. Yeah, I see you. I see you looking at that screen.
Continue reading. They don't care about what's going on with me.
Uh, God dang it, I lost my track. Lori Summers. Lori Summers. Lori Summers was the college student that was left from the expedition that found the horror, quote unquote, from the vault that pretty much killed everybody in Aiden and was making a giant flesh monster, kind of like out of the thing. Um, this it kind of progresses into some more like mysterious happenings. Like people around Aiden are starting to disappear. Our protagonist is getting like phone calls from people from the college, like, "Hey, have you seen so and so?" Like, "No, I haven't seen anybody. Why? Well, what's going on?" They're like, "Well, he's been missing for days." And so, like, "Oh, no idea. Sorry."
Only he's
Um,
been gone for days.
Sorry.
Oh
Uh,
no.
and after that happens, there is a massive fire that appears like from the distance inside the woods in Aiden, or next to Aiden, and apparently somebody set fire to something out there. Um, I think it was the cop from the last, uh, story.
I think it was Adele setting fire to the rain. Watch it burn.
Wow, that was a deep dive right there. Um, so Lori Summers calls our protagonist on there and says, "You can't do, or you can't escape it, Howard." Howard's our protagonist, by the way. Uh, Even if you can't, even if it burns, it'll never. It's in the air now, and so progressively he starts getting weirder and weirder phone calls from people like, you know, people are missing and I'm not sure what's going on. And he gets or he calls the mental hospital rehab center where his ex-girlfriend's at, say, "Hey, B word, like what's going on? Like why are people from your uh sanatorium, I'm going old school there, calling me?" And she's like, "I didn't call on you." And then she's like, "Hey, what the hell's outside?" And
He
there
didn't
are
call
these like
her a B word. He called the person that called him a B word. A crazy
word,
B word.
a crazy B word, crazy,
He never has
because
anything bad to say about Alice.
B words be crazy apparently, according to him. Um, and then outside they see these like I love how they describe these things. They're called like these bed sheets, almost looking like made of flesh, and they're like attached to the wall, and they're like, "What's going on?" So one of the nurses goes outside and it's like, "Hey, I'm going to try to poke it with a stick or a broom handle, whatever." And the thing detaches from the wall and like lands on her, envelops her, sprouts wings, and flies away with her. And so the last thing that she hears is, or he hears is like screaming. He's like, "Just get out of there! Get out of there!" Uh, so he calls his friend up, Tim. Yeah, Tim, and he's like, "Hey, this is the guy that's been checking on him from time to time." And he's like, "Hey, I have a drone. I'm going
Well,
to." This is Howard talk. So go ahead.
actually, Tim called her because he hadn't heard from Howard in a while,
Hmm.
and so he calls
You're right.
Alice.
You're right. Oh, I'm sorry. I got that wrong. I'm so sorry. Tim called Alice because he was angry at her.
Yeah,
Because Howard and Tim were good friends. Sorry, reverse all of that, and it's Tim who called Alice, not Howard, because Howard's been quietly gone for a while. We're not sure what happened to him.
he's been
But
flying this
apparently,
drone.
he has a drone that he sent out into the woods to see what was going on, where that fire was up there, and he decided to go up closer to the cloud because the clouds are also coming down closer. They're not like super high up, so he goes up into the clouds to see what he can find.
This
And
reminded me of
apparently,
Nope because he's like the cloud doesn't
yeah, just like
change.
the cloud doesn't change. Yeah, I had the exact same thought. Uh, so he goes up into the clouds, and apparently inside this massive ash cloud is a giant tumor type entity that has like all the flesh mounds on it. This is where the flesh the apparently the monster became airborne at some point, and it's like, oh,
It's not a
um,
tumor.
it's not Akuma. Man, some of the ways they describe it is like all the pus and stuff from like
Yeah,
the infected flesh. It's like, um, but he can see those like sheet things like basically flying in flocks around it, and it's just growing and growing and growing. And he's like, I've locked myself in my house. I can hear them outside. I don't know what's gonna happen.
got a
So
little food. It's not gonna last long.
it's not gonna last long. So yeah. And then he just says goodbye, and that's it. And then after that, we get a torrent of 911 calls from various people saying, "Hey, there's stuff falling from the sky. It's like grabbing people. It's killing people. What's going on?"
There's a bunch
And
of
then it just
pods in the yards.
yeah, pods in the yard. There's flesh pods in the yard. What's going on? And it just continues to rise and rise and rise and rise, and then it just cuts out. And that's the end of the story. So, um, so my opening thoughts for this one, Jared.
Mm-hmm.
This is probably my favorite of the quadrilogy that he's released so far. He's released four stories in this uh, storyline.
Mm.
This is probably my favorite, but I kind of want to hear what you want to think since I've been talking for a while.
Okay. So this is all the same writer, right?
Yes, Isaac
Okay.
Bossanu.
Bossa Nova. Okay.
Yeah,
Um,
Bossa Nova.
I felt like this had a lot of cringy dialogue that stood out to me. I have a couple right here. I have some excerpts. One of them is something has been going through the trash. Probably raccoons. I hate those things. It's just like who? They're
Who
just
who vocalizes that?
yeah. And then he's like, animals are obnoxious because he talks about living by the forest and he hears birds and he's like, animals are obnoxious. And he's like, I don't mind them. His friend. Um,
His friend is like a ray of sunshine, by the way. He's like the best friend.
yeah. I did like the dialogue between them when he's like, is the donut shop still there?
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like if we were going back to Dallas.
Donut man.
And then all of Alice's dialogue kind of sucked because like
Dude, I think the voice actor for her wasn't very good.
yeah,
Because
but
like
she was
The person who did Lori, she was great. Liked her.
um
Like the crazy woman.
yeah.
I liked her a lot.
Oh,
But
she's like he's upset because someone called her or him. at
Hmm.
like 4 a.m. And she's like, I was in detox, you a hole, throwing up all night. He's like, well, he should have been like, well, I'm crippled, so.
Yeah, right. I'm crippled because you had to go through detox. So there you go.
And then there was one random guy that he works with. He's like, man, when
Oh,
you get crap done, you get crap done. Man, you
uh,
grade good.
Drew. Yeah,
Yeah,
Drew's an a hole.
I just
Well, I
found
do
that
like. I
funny.
like how he was the opening like line for this. Like, hey man, I know you're crippled, but you need a grade because it's your job. So bye. And I'm like, what a douchebag.
Hey, man, things need to
Uh,
get graded. Students
I,
are just in limbo, not knowing.
I I can't say much because I have 7 papers right now that haven't been graded by a teacher. So, well, maybe she's crippled. Oh no,
You have no heart.
I have no heart now.
But I think it was because
So,
it was just like friends talking that the dialogues seemed kind of forced sometimes.
okay.
But I
Um,
did like all the descriptions of the bat-like things, and then like
the
big tumor in the
the sh-
sky.
the sheet is like one of my favorite character ideas because that's a cool idea that you have this aerodynamic sheet that's meant to like scoop up something and
Yeah,
fly away with it.
I liked it when
Um,
there was a bunch of them and they look like leaves just in the air.
in the air. See, that's terrifying to see that many. Like you see one, you're like, oh god, but then you realize you look up and there's hundreds of them.
Yeah,
Um, and I think it boils down to my favorite part, and I think part of it's the music for this because I thought it was perfect for it. Was the ending part where Howard's describing the uh,
yeah.
drone footage,
That
and
music was good.
it has like that choir going on, like that Gregorian choir type of oh.
Yeah, but
Yes.
the music throughout the thing when they were just talking was like,
Generic
church
generic
music.
piano.
Church music when they're like, the guy comes out when the pastor's almost ready to get clothes, and he just plays random piano stuff. That's what it sounded like.
I love it when church or when church pianists do that and they do like pop songs. Like they had one guy that was like playing Metallica. It was great.
I like whenever they do
Um,
that. I'm like, it's almost over.
it's almost over. Yes. God, we can leave. I
It's
can have
been
my Sunday.
it's been talking for an
Um,
hour straight. Good lord.
um, but yeah, like I love the ending for this one. I love that phone call, the phone calls coming in at the very end. Uh, just the panic of it and like, oh, it's the end of the world. Oh my God.
Yeah,
Because we kind of got some of that in the first one, but it ended before it started. And
yeah,
this is like the beginning at the end of the world, which I think is kind of cool.
yeah. It sounds like it's
Um,
really ramping up.
right, right, exactly. And then there are two more, and they're different. They're very different from this one, because I think that this one and the Horror from the Vault, the very first one, are very very similar in tone, and then the next two are very different. So
Hmm.
see what we're gonna do with those. Um, but yeah, like I was so excited because I remember when I first listened to this because I listened to Mr. Creepypasta the one. I don't know if you what did you listen to?
I think it was him.
Okay, I remember first time I listened to it, I had to go. It was an emergency um, drive I had to make when I was working audiovisual, and the truck broke down in the middle of the road, like 3 hours away from Dallas. So I had to immediately hop in my truck, my big box truck,
Hmm.
and switch out. Basically, I had to wait by the road to for someone to come get me after we had switched gear. And I remember I'm like, oh man, I don't want to go out there. This is gonna be such a long, sucky day. And then I got the YouTube notification that Horror from the Vault came up. I'm like, is that a sequel to the first one?
It's funny when like YouTube notifications come on, like whenever it's like Nexpo or someone that doesn't post often. It's like, oh, it's gonna be a fun day.
I know that's, and I was like, I downloaded that one and I re-downloaded Horror from the Vault. So that was a good like hour and a half. I was out there. I was like, yeah. And that's re-listened to it when I was like, on the side of the road. I'm like, I don't care. Like my day's a lot better now. Um, but yeah, like I don't know. This one, I just like the story of this one more. even though it's not as scary, I think because the first one's actually kind of is pretty scary, I think.
Mhm.
But this one, I just liked the setup a lot more. Um, so yeah, that's all I got.
It's a cool format, but I
Yeah.
don't have any nostalgic like rose tinted
Mm.
goggles for this one, so I was just hearing the dialogue. Although my experience with this one was fun because, like I was telling you guys in the chat, I just had a big sandwich from Potbelly's, and then I put this
Oh,
on in my car, and I was just like,
that's what you did? You
yeah,
took a nap while you watched? Oh, wow. What
it
what a spoiled prince, everybody.
was delightful.
Can't believe it.
Channeling some Pooh Bear energy.
All right. Did you have anything else for this one, Jared?
Mm, no, kind of excited for the next part. See where it goes.
Okay. Yeah. Well, did you have a story that you want to do, or do you want me to pick another one?
I do. But after last time, they kind of
No, no,
they shunned me. So
pick your thing, man. Pick your thing.
okay,
Come on. What do you got?
I'm gonna have to find it.
What? Oh my God. He can't. He says he comes ready. He
I don't remember.
bashes.
I've heard these.
He,
These were like 3 years ago, and I don't
he,
remember the names.
I forgot my notes in my office, and he's like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you did that. Oh my God. Oh my
I
God.
can't believe you disgust me.
Sir. You know, you know what?
Hmm.
I have no excuse. That's actually a pretty bad idea. I'm sorry.
Oh,
But
before we go, thanks for the likes on the last video.
yeah, I was gonna say thank you everybody. Like we kind of hit a milestone in the that's good stuff productions. Um, I know it might not seem like a lot, but 50 people tuning in every other day for us that means a lot to us. And thank you for everybody for supporting this project specifically. Like again, this has been a passion thing of mine and Jared's for like 15 years, and the fact that we actually have an outlet for this and you people seem to like it, it's kind of nice. Kind of validating. Kind of helps me get through the week and not realize that we're all just spinning on the earth and don't have much to live for. So what was your story?
I have to find it. I can't remember the name.
Oh, you B word. You son of a
Just
bee.
like that person in rehab, a real B word.
Crazy bee. Bees be crazy, man.
Hmm.
All right. Well, I think that's about it for this episode, Jared. What do you think?
Yeah.
All right. Well, everybody, stay safe out there, and hope you guys enjoyed listening. Go listen to some creepy pastas. Tell us what you think. Give us some likes.
Subscribe, like.
Subscribe to the channel. We have some weird, fun shows on here. It's not for everybody, but it is for a lot of people. So I hope you guys enjoy it.
And if you have
Um,
suggestions, we'll always listen to those.
please, because we do not want to go into schlock because there's so much of it. There's
We
so much
will.
of
We'll be that guy, but
There's so much. Anyway, all right. Well, see you guys later. Bye.